Hi, welcome to Roy's Game Table. Today we have Hulk with a starter pack against the Expert Wrecking Crew. Pull up a chair and let's see how this game turns out. Alright, so we do have Hulk against the Expert Wrecking Crew, which means I have to defeat each one of the Wrecking Crew members on their B side. I did think about doing the Extreme Challenge today, which means you have to beat the A and B side of each one of the Wrecking Crew members, but those games tend to go long, and I don't necessarily want a long game today. I just want to show off the Hulk starter pack the best I can, and for anybody who hasn't seen it in action, or for anybody who has and just wants to watch it. So that's what the game is, and I've got everything shuffled up. I do have the 4 decks up here shuffled. They're ready to go. I shuffled my hero deck for Hulk and drawn my starting hand, so I'm looking at it to see what I want to do as in the way of mulligan. And I like that I have She-Hulk to start with, and so I think I'm just going to leave what I have and put her into play. So I'm going to do that with my 4 resources here, and she'll come into play with 4 hit points. Now, her ability is that she gets +1 attack for each damage token here, so she's only going to get 1 attack right now, but she does have 2 thwart, and that's good. And by the way, let me set up the thwart for each one of the Wrecking Crew members. Alright, so I've got them all set up. Sorry about that. And I think I am going to use her thwart ability, her 2 thwart, to go ahead and just take it off of Bulldozer, because, well, actually I'm going to take it off of Thunderball, because he can stun, and Hulk, sometimes Hulk's damage, especially Hulk Smash, comes off his identity, so I don't want him to be stunned. So I'm going to remove 2 from Thunderball. That'll drop his from 5 to 3, and that's going to do 2 consequential damage on She-Hulk, so she's down to 2 hit points. But when I attack with her next time, she'll have an attack of 3. And then I'm going to flip Hulk and go ahead and attack with 3 for him on Wrecker. That's going to drop him from 18 down to 15. And then I'm going to ready and draw to 4. Alright, so start of the main phase. Going to put 1 threat here on the main scheme, which means 1 goes on the other scheme. So his goes to 7. Thunderstruck goes to 4. Clear the Road to 5. And Pile It On goes to 4. And so Wrecker is going to attack. And he'll attack for 3. And I'm going to go ahead and just have Hulk defend this. So it's going to be just 3 damage, and so no damage done to Hulk. And so Wrecker will remain, obviously, the active villain. So anyway, the encounter card for him will be, I've been waiting for this, Winterville. The active villain heals 3 hit points. And so that is Wrecker, and he can heal the 3 back that Hulk hit him for. So he's back to full health at 18. And then I give that villain a tough status card. Okay, so we're going to do that, and that's not too bad because we're back to Hulk. And I'm going to put in Brawn for 3 resources. Brawn comes in with 5 hit points, and he's going to attack, and it's only going to be for 1, and I'm going to use it to knock off this tough. But the nice thing about Brawn is after he attacks, remove 1 threat from a scheme. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove it from the main scheme just to try to keep that under control. I am going to have She-Hulk attack for 3 because she gets +2 because she's got 2 damage on her and a base of 1. So I'm going to have her hit for 3 back on Wrecker to drop him back down to 15. And so she'll drop to 1, and Hulk blocked, so he can't do anything. So I'll ready and draw back up to 4 and go to the villain phase. All right, start of the main phase. 1 threat here. And then 1 threat on Day of Reckoning, so that's going to go from 7 up to 8. And then Thunderstruck will go up to 5, from 4 up to 5. And Clear the Road will go up to 6. And Pile It On will also go from 4 up to 5. And then the active villain will still be Wrecker. He's going to attack for 3. I will have Hulk defend this again, so it's going to be an attack of 3, 4. So Hulk will take 1 damage down to 17. And the encounter card from Wrecker will be Mystical Link. When revealed, place 2 threat on each side scheme. So that means Day of Reckoning is going to go off. So all right. So Day of Reckoning is going to go off. So I'm going to pause right there real quick. And when that happens, when his goes off, you deal 2 damage to each friendly character. So Hulk's going to go down to 15. And that's going to knock She-Hulk out of the game. That's unfortunate. I had a plan, but I won't be able to do it now. Braun's going to go down to 2. So his will come back on with 3. And then 2 threat on Thunderstruck. 2 threat. So Clear the Road is going to be up at 8. And Pile It On is going to be up to 7. Okay. And that's it. So we are back to Hulk. All right, well, I guess I'll just go ahead and use Suborbital Leap to remove some threat. And I'm going to remove it from Thunderstruck. Actually, no, I'm going to remove it from Clear the Road because I don't want Thunderstruck either. So I will remove from here. So it's going to go from 7 down to 4. And now Suborbital Leap does say remove 3 threat from a scheme, 5 if you pay with only physical resources, but I did have to spend a mental resource for that. That's why I only removed 3. And then I'm going to have Braun attack for 1. And I'll just have him go ahead and hit, I guess, Wrecker over here for 4. Dropping him down to 14. And I'll remove a threat from Clear the Road. So that's it. I'm going to ready and draw to 4. All right, so start of the main villain phase. 1 threat on the scheme. 1 on each one of the other ones. So that'll go to 4. This one will go to 5. Clear the Road will go up to 8. Pile It On will also go up to 8. Okay, and so Clear the Road has, Clear the Road and Pile It On both have 8. So I'll just have, I think, Pile Driver, I think, be the active villain. So I'm going to move it down to him. So he's going to attack for 3. I'm just going to have Hulk take it. So it's going to be 3, 4, 5. So that's going to drop him down to 10. And then his encounter card will be Oversized Hands. Discard the support you control with the highest cost. If no support was discarded this way, place 2 threat on the active villain's scheme. So that's going to be, so I'm going to have to put 2 threat. That's going to trigger Pile It On. It'll come back with 3. And now, because I don't have an upgrader support in, and when his goes off, each player discards the upgrader support they control with the highest cost, which I don't. So that's kind of good. It goes back down to 3. I don't lose a support or upgrade because I'm about to put a support in on my next turn. And that's it. Hulk just takes 5 damage from him. And we're ready to go back to Hulk. So back to Hulk, I'm going to put in Helicarrier for 3 resources. And then I'm going to use it to put in Boundless Rage. And that he's going to attack for, that's going to give him a +1 attack. And that's, I'm going to hit for 4. I'm going to hit Wrecker over here to drop him down to 10. And I'm going to save Braun. So I think I'll stay in Hulk for 1 more turn because I do have a blocker. And actually, no, I won't. I am going to flip to Bruce Banner, I think, because Bulldozer will be the active villain and his attacks have overkill. So I'm going to flip over to Bruce Banner so that the Bulldozer won't attack. I am going to lose cards off the top of my deck, but that's just the way it's going to work. And then Boundless Rage comes out because when you change forms, you have to discard it. So I'm going to ready and draw to 5. All right, start of the main phase. The main scheme goes up to 3. And then I put 1 threat on each of the other schemes, so that goes to 5. This will go to 6. This will go up to 9. And Pile It On will go to 4. So Bulldozer will become the active villain. He's going to scheme. It's at 9, so it's going to go off. But he'll scheme for 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, that will cause it to trigger. And when his scheme triggers, you discard the top 10 cards of the deck. So let me do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let me clean up my area here a little bit. So that was pretty devastating, but anyway, his encounter card will be Get Wrecked. And I am an alter ego, the villain whose side scheme has the most threat schemes, okay? And that is going to be Thunderstruck. So he's going to scheme for 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to bring it from 6, and 6 is 12. So his is going to go off. And when his goes off, you stun each friendly character. So Brawn and Hulk and Dr. Banner will actually be stunned. So, well, at least their schemes are low now, and we got that out of the way. We're back over to Dr. Banner's turn. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to discard Banner's Laboratory to draw a card. All right, we got Suborbital Leap. And I think while I'm on this side, I'm just going to go ahead and have Bruce Banner heal from 10 up to 14. And then I'm going to put in Avengers Mansion using Helicarrier for 1. Well, Helicarrier to make the next one reduce the cost of the Avengers Mansion by 1. So that's going to be 1. And then 2, 3, 4. And I want to keep Hulk Smash. Hopefully I can use it next turn. We'll see. And then I'm going to have Brawn thwart for 1 on the main scheme just to keep that under control so I don't lose to that. It will knock him out of the game. And we will ready. I'm going to stay as Bruce Banner. We'll ready and draw to 5. All right, start of the main phase. This goes back up to 3. And then Day of Reckoning will go to 6. Thunderstruck will go up to 4. Clear the Road will go up to 4, and Pile It On over here will go from 4 up to 5. All right, and so the active villain is going to be Wrecker again because he is at 6 currently. All right, and so I'm still an alter ego, so he's going to scheme for 3 boost. If this attack is undefended, discard upgrade your control. It's not an attack, so he's just going to scheme for 3. That's going to bring it from 6 up to 9. All right, so 1 away from his going off again. And unless I thwart it, it will go off again, but we'll see what happens. And then the encounter card is going to be Buddy System. When revealed, choose the villain whose side scheme has the least threat. So that's a tie between Clear the Road and Thunderstruck. Reveal the top card of the deck. So I'll just reveal the top card of Thunderball's deck, and so it's going to be Radioactive Buildup attached to Thunderball. Okay, so it's going to give him a +3 attack, and then excess damage dealt by Thunderball is placed as threat on his corresponding scheme. All right, and after he attacks, discarded. So we are back over to Bruce Banner. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is use Avengers Mansion to let him draw a card. All right, and then I'm going to flip to Hulk and attack to knock off the stun that he got. And I'm going to play To the Rescue, Helicarrier to reduce it by 1, and then Unstoppable Force for the second one, so I can remove 2 threat from this scheme here. But I'm going to drop kick, and I am going to be able to pay with this with all physical resources, and with drop kick, if you pay, you deal 4 damage, and if you paid with all physical resources, you stun that enemy and draw a card. So I do have 3. So I'm going to deal 4 damage to Pile Driver, dropping him to 10, and the Retaliate will drop Hulk down to 13. And again, I will stun him, and I'll get to draw a card, but it won't really do any good because I have to discard it at the end of my turn, which is right now. So I'm going to ready. I'll discard Crushing Blow, draw up, and right now the active villain is Wrecker, so I have to deal myself a side scheme, or excuse me, a counter card from him, and then I'm going to shuffle my deck, draw back up to 4, and it will be the villain turn. All right, so 1 threat on the main scheme. Then we put 1 on each one. We know Day of Reckoning is going to have 10. It's going to go off, and when his goes off, again, you deal 2 damage to each friendly character, so Hulk's going to go down to 11. And then Thunderstruck goes from 4 to 5. And Clear the Road goes from 4 to 5 also. And Pile It On goes up to 6. And now, remember, you do one at a time. You do one sentence at a time. The first sentence puts one threat on each one. And that made Wreckers go off. And now you move the marker to the villain whose scheme has the most threat. That is going to be Pile Driver. So he's active now. He's supposed to attack, but he's stunned. And his encounter card is Oversized Hands. Discard the support you control with the highest cost. I have 2 support, and unfortunately, that is going to be my Avengers Mansion. So I hate to see that, and if no support was discarded, but there was. And so that's very unfortunate. And we are back to Hulk. And we are not back to Hulk yet. I've got to do this other encounter card. I should have done it first. Place 2 threat on each side scheme. So I'll go ahead and do that. 2 here brings it up to 5. And then 2 over there makes it 7 on Thunderstruck. And then 7 on Clear the Road. And 8 on Pile It On. So that didn't make it mess up anything. So that'll go back over here. And now we're at Hulk. All right, I think the first thing I'm going to do is use Suborbital Leap. I am going to pay with all 3 physical resources, so I get to remove 5 threat. I'm going to remove it off of Clear the Road because I don't want him to activate again and cause me to discard 10 cards. That really messed me up. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to use Helicarrier to put in Martial Prowess you'll pay for that as the other resource, and then I'll just have Hulk attack for 3. And I'll just do it on Wrecker. Since I'm already working on him, he's down to 7. And then I'll stay as Hulk for at least one more turn, and I'll ready and draw up to 4. All right, so starting the main phase, we put 1 on the main scheme. And so that's going to go up to 3. Day of Reckoning goes to 6. Thunderstruck will go from 7 to 8. And Clear the Road will go from 2 to 3. And Pile It On is going to go up to 9, so we're almost there on his. Okay, and so Pile Driver will remain the active villain, but I'm just going to have him. I'm just going to have Hulk take this attack, so it's 3. Give the active villain a tough status card. Okay, if they already have a tough status card, place 2 threat on their scheme. All right, so that's going to be Pile Driver. So it's just going to be an attack of 3 to drop Hulk down to 8, from 11 to 8. And then the encounter card from Pile Driver is Held Hostage. Attack the active villain side scheme, so I can't remove threat from it until I have him attack me. So we are back to Hulk. All right, I think what I'm going to do here with Hulk is I'm going to use Martial Prowess to generate a physical resource for an attack event, and that's going to be Crushing Blow. You have to use only physical resources to pay for it, and it is an attack event. I did use physical resource, so deal damage to an enemy equal to your ATK, your attack. So that's going to knock the tough off of Pile Driver. And then I'm going to have Hulk attack Pile Driver and I'm going to Hulk Smash, to interrupt that to Hulk Smash, reducing the cost of Hulk Smash by 1, and then energy for 2, 3 to deal 13 damage to Pile Driver. Go ahead and knock him out of the game because his was about to go off his side scheme, and I would have lost my Helicarrier, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just knock him out of the game before that happens. So Pile Driver is gone. And so let me remove him all the way out. And then the token goes to the one the next highest. That actually right now is Thunderball because he has 8 on his. So that's what we're going to do there. And then I don't want to lose to the rescue because the main scheme's starting to get high. So I'm going to flip to Bruce Banner and ready and draw to 5. Okay, so 1 threat on the main scheme, 4 out of 6. And then this goes to 7. The Thunderstruck will go to 9, so that's about to go off. And Clear the Road will go to 4. And so again, it'll stay with Thunderball because he has the most. But he's supposed to scheme for 3. Boost, deal 1 damage to the defending character, but there is no defending character. So I guess I don't deal any damage there. but it will go off. His scheme will go off. And that means I'm going to stun each friendly character. So Bruce Banner is stunned again. And then the encounter card from Thunderball is Get Wrecked. When revealed, the villain whose side scheme has the most threat schemes. And that is going to be Wrecker. So Wrecker is going to scheme now for 3, 4. And that's going to be bring it 7 to 11. So now his is going to go off. So I'll drop that down to 3. And if you remember, we know what that means. 2 damage to each friendly character. So down to 6. So Hulk's taking a beating from the side schemes, but he's still in the game. And we've got rid of one Wrecking Crew member, and it's back to Bruce Banner. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, just to be safe, is have Bruce Banner heal for 4. So that'll bring him from 6 back up to 10. And then I'm going to flip over to Hulk because I really can't use any of my cards unless he's in hero form. So Hulk is in hero form now. I'm going to use Martial Prowess to pay for Crushing Blow, deal damage equal to an enemy. But I'm really just doing that to remove the stun. And then I'm going to drop kick using Limitless Strength, the 3 on that. And I am using all physical resources, so I'm going to draw a card. And anyway, so 4 damage and then stun. Well, Bulldozer is going to be the active villain, so I'm going to hit him for 4, dropping him to 11. And it will stun him because I used all physical resources, and then I get to draw a card. And then I'd really like to ready Hulk so that I could hit again, but I got 4 out of 6 threat here, and I've got ways to remove the threat. So I'm going to go to the rescue, use Helicarrier to reduce it by 1, and the other to the rescue for 2. So remove 2 threat from a scheme. That's going to be here, dropping it from 4 back down to 2, and that's going to be it. So I'm going to ready Hulk, have to discard this card, and draw to 4. Okay, so the main scheme goes back up to 3. And then Wrecker's Day of Reckoning goes to 4, Thunderstruck to 4, and Clear the Road to 5. And again, that means that Bulldozer is now going to be the active villain. He's supposed to attack, but he's stunned. And his encounter card is Chaos in the Prison. Choose to either discard an upgrade you control or place 1 threat on the active villain's side scheme for each upgrade you control. If you do not control any upgrades, discard. So I control 1 upgrade. It'll bring Clear the Road up to 6. I'll just do that. I don't want to lose my Martial Prowess. No reason to. So that's going to bring it up to 6. And we'll discard that and go back to Hulk. All right, back to Hulk. I'm going to drop kick again. I'm going to use Martial Prowess for 1, Power of Aggression for 2, 3. So that's going to deal 4 damage to an enemy. And I did pay with a physical resource, so I'm going to draw a card. And stun whoever I hit, which I'm going to hit, I think, Bulldozer, dropping him from 11 to 7. Okay, because he's going to probably still be the active villain because I have no way really to thwart. So I'm going to stun him and draw a card. All right, to the rescue. I'm going to go ahead and use To the Rescue with Helicarrier and Banner's Laboratory to remove 2 threat from this scheme. So that's going to drop it from 6 back down to 4. And then we're going to hit, I think, Wrecker for 3, dropping him from 7 down to 4. And I really don't want to lose She-Hulk. And they're all equal, so I can put it whoever I want to. So I think I'm going to go and flip to Bruce Banner and ready and draw up to 5. All right, so start the main phase. 1 threat here, 1 on each one of the other ones. This goes from 4 to 5. This also goes from 4 to 5. And Clear the Road goes from 4 to 5. And I'm going to make Wrecker the active villain because I don't want to be stunned, and I don't care I mean, I got 10 health. I don't care if I take 2 damage. So Wrecker is going to scheme for 3, 4. So that's going to bring it up to 9. All right, so it won't go off yet. It will next time, but it won't go off yet. Next time if I don't do anything about it. And then the encounter card is Wrecker's Command. So it's just an attachment. And after he schemes, place 1 threat on each villain's side scheme. So we are back to Bruce Banner. I'm going to go and put She-Hulk in. Helicarrier, reduce it by 1. Genius for 2, 3, and Unstoppable Force for 4. So she'll come in the game with 4 health. And then I'm gonna draw a card. All right, immovable object, and I'm gonna discard toe to toe. So that didn't work out really how I was planning. I was hoping to maybe get something different, but that's okay. I'm gonna flip to Hulk, and I'm gonna put in Boundless Rage with immovable object, paying for it with that. So now Hulk has +1 damage again. So I'm going to attack for 4 with him to eliminate Wrecker. So I don't have to worry about his scheme going off again because he is done. And I can choose the villain that gets the token. I'm going to give it to Bulldozer because he's stunned. I'm going to have She-Hulk thwart for 2. That's going to make 2 consequential damage on her, but it moves the scheme, the main scheme, from 4 back down to 2. And that's all I can do. So I'll ready and draw to 4. All right, start of the main villain phase. The main scheme goes up to 3. Thunderstruck goes up to 6, and Clear the Road goes up to 6. And I'm going to leave the active token with Bulldozer. He's supposed to attack, but he's stunned. And then his encounter card will be a Corrupt Prison Guard. So he's going to come into play with 3 health, and we're back to Hulk. I think that's a pretty easy decision what to do. She-Hulk has 3 attack because she's got 2 damage on her, and she gets +1 attack for each damage, so it's going to be a total of 3. And that's going to be enough to go ahead and knock this prison guard out of the game. I'm going to do that just so I don't forget, because I can't attack a villain or whoever until he's gone. And now I can do whatever I want to do. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is put Thunderclap into play. I can choose 3 different enemies, which there's only 2 left, but 3 enemies and deal 3 damage to each of them. I'm going to use Helicarrier to reduce it by 1. Martial Prowess. Oh, it's not an attack event. So I'm going to use Strength for 2, 3 on that. Because Martial Prowess gives you physical resource, but it has to be an attack event. Thunderclap is a superpower. That's okay. It'll work out. I've got it. So I'm going to deal 3 to Thunderball. That drops it down to 13. And then Bulldozer drops down to 4. I'm going to have Hulk attack for 4 because he gets +1 attack. And I'm going to knock Bulldozer out of the game. So he's gone. And we're down to just 1 member, the Wrecking Crew, left with 13 health. And that's just a Hulk smash away if I can get it. But Thunderball is now our active villain. And I don't want to lose Brawn and Dropkick. So I'm going to flip to Bruce Banner, which means I'm going to lose Boundless Rage, but that's okay. And then I will ready and draw to 5. All right, start of the main villain phase. 1 threat here. And then 1 threat on Thunderstruck, which means it's going to go up to 7. He's going to scheme for 3, so this will go off. He's going to scheme for 3. Move the active counter to the villain, okay, to whose side scheme has the least threat. Well, it's obviously Thunderstruck. If you're in hero form, that villain attacks you after this attack, that attack is not going to boost. Okay, so that doesn't really do anything. So the 3 scheme, though, does bring it up to 10. So his is going to go off, which means it stuns each friendly character. Excuse me. So Bruce Banner is stunned, and She-Hulk is stunned, but that's okay. We're going to use She-Hulk to thwart anyway off the main scheme, so that's not going to hurt too bad. And then the encounter card from him is Chaos in the Prison. Choose either discard an upgrade you control or place 1 threat on the active villain scheme for each upgrade you control. I only control 1 upgrade, so I will just put a threat on because this is only going to bring it up to 4. It's not a big deal. And we are back to Hulk. First thing I want to do is thwart for 2 with She-Hulk to bring this down from 4 to 2. And that will remove She-Hulk from the game. I've got 10 health. I'm pretty happy because I have a drop kick. So I'm not gonna heal. I'm gonna flip to Bruce Banner and attack with Hulk to knock off the stun. And then I will drop kick. Helicarrier reducing it by 1. It is an attack event, so martial prowess for 2. And you'll pay for that for 3. So I did, oh no, I don't want to do that. I want to pay with physical resources, so Thunderclap. So I reduced it by 1. Martial prowess gives me a physical. Thunderclap gives me a physical, that's 3. And so I'm going to attack for 4, dropping him from 10 to 9. And it's going to stun him. And I get to draw a card. Hulk Smash. Oh, I'm going to lose that. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. I could have won the game next time because I can't use Hulk Smash. I don't have any way to ready. I don't have any way to ready Hulk. Well, whatever. I'm going to put in Brawn for Power of Aggression for 2. You'll pay for that for 3. He's stunned. There's no reason to keep that. So I'm going to lose Hulk Smash. Whatever. So we're at 5 on Brawn. I'm going to have him attack Thunderstruck or Thunderball for 1, dropping him to 8, and then remove 1 threat from the main scheme. So that's it. I'll ready Hulk. Discard my hand, because by the way, that is his ability. If you haven't noticed, his hero abilities, you have to discard your hand and then his turn, and then we draw to 4. Okay, so start of the main villain phase. 1 threat here and 1 on Thunderstruck. He's supposed to attack, but he doesn't because he's stunned. His encounter card is Lightning Blast. Hero, Thunderball attacks you. If this attack is undefended, place 3 threat on Thunderball's side scheme. All right, well, that messes up my plan. I was going to win the game next turn, but I may not be able to now. All right, well, I'll defend with Hulk. So he's actually going to attack for 5. 6, 7. So I don't have to place the 3 threat because it was defended. But he attacks for 7 because of radioactive buildup. 7 minus 3 is 4. That's going to drop him down to 6. And then radioactive buildup, its response is after, it says excess damage is dealt. It gets placed as threat on his corresponding side scheme. So that's going to bring it up to 9. Because the 4 excess damage, so it's 9 out of 10. But then I do discard this. And so that was unfortunate. I was going to win this turn because I have toe-to-toe. I was going to use toe-to-toe to deal 5 damage and then hit him with Hulk for 3. But that's going to change my plan now. So it is back to Hulk. All right, I can't win this turn, but I think I have a chance to win next turn. We'll see what happens. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to play toe-to-toe and use Martial Prowess to pay for that because it is an attack event. So I'm going to use that. So the villain attacks me. I'm going to have Brawn defend. He's going to attack for 2, 3. That will actually not knock Brawn out. It will just drop him down to 1. But the force response after Thunderball attacks you deal 1 damage to each character you control. So Hulk will go to 5. And that will knock Brawn out of the game. But toe-to-toe, you deal the enemy 5 damage, so it's going to drop him from 8 to 3. And then I'm going to play, you'll pay for that using Helicarrier to reduce it by 1. You'll pay for that after the villain attacks you, remove 1 threat from a scheme for each damage you took, which was not, well, there's no reason to do that because I didn't take any damage. So I was going to remove threat from Thunderstruck so I wouldn't get stunned, but that I can't do that. So instead what I'll just do is flip to Bruce Banner because I can get Sentry in next time and probably win the game next time. He has a 3 attack. I'm going to flip to Bruce Banner, ready, and draw to 2 so that I don't have to deal 2 encounter cards because I got 1 card left. So I'm at 5. And we will move into the villain phase. Start of the main phase. It goes up from 2 to 3 here. Thunderstruck will go off because it's at 9, so it's going to go up to 10. That will stun Hulk, or will stun Bruce Banner, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Now, he's going to scheme. It could go off again, but he won't get stunned again. So he'll scheme for 3. Move the active counter to the villain whose side scheme is least, it's him. So 3 more goes on there, so it's up to 6. And then the encounter card is Corrupt Prison Guard. So he comes in with 3 health, and that's the only thing that was going to keep me from losing. I didn't even realize that would happen. So that, all right, we are back to Bruce Banner. All right, well, I didn't want to have to do this. I didn't want to have to draw this card and deal myself an encounter card because I might have to take 3 this time if I put Sentry in. But let's see what I get. I'm going to draw it, and it is a toe-to-toe, so good. I'm good to go, I think. So, I'll have to deal myself an encounter card. Let me shuffle my hero deck. Okay, and by the way, with Dr. Banner's ability, you draw a card and discard a card. I'll discard a Martial Prowess. All right, well, I could possibly win the game here if I flipped a Hulk, attack to remove the stun, put Sentry into the game. Sentry could attack to remove the Corrupt Prison Guard. Then I could use toe-to-toe to have Thunderball attack Hulk and then deal him 5 damage. The problem is Hulk only has 5 hit points left. And with a base attack of 2, if he draws 3 boost icons, I'm going to lose. And there's no reason for me to take that chance. So I'm just going to heal with Bruce Banner, bring him back up to 9. And then he'll still remain stunned. I will put Sentry into play though. Helicarrier, reducing it by 1. And then you'll pay for that. Martial Prowess and Suborbital Leap for 2, 3, 4. Okay. And when he comes in, he makes me get dealt an encounter card. So I'm going to have to deal with 3 of them. And I'm going to get an acceleration token, but I still think I'm okay. And when he comes in, he'll come in with 5 hit points. And he'll attack for 3 to get rid of this Corrupt Prison Guard. So hopefully next time I can win the game. We'll see what happens. I'm going to stay as Bruce Banner. I'm going to ready and draw to 5. All right, start of the main villain phase. We put 1 threat, so it's 4 out of 6 here. We put 1 threat over here, so that's 7. And so he's going to scheme for 3. Deal 1 damage to the defending character, but there is no defending character, so it just puts 3 on there. So it's 3, 6, 9. Wait, no, it's 6, 7, and 3 is 10. So that will go off, but I'm already stunned. So it's just going to go back down to 3, and I'm stunned. And I deal myself an encounter card, which means an acceleration token will come on to the main scheme now. All right, so I've reshuffled the deck. Thunderball's deck, you can't really see it, but I have, and the acceleration token's on here. So with 4 threat on the main scheme, if I don't win on the next phase or thwart or something, I'm going to lose at the start of the villain phase. But I'm going to win, I think, on my next turn. We'll see what happens, but I do have to deal with 3 encounter cards first. So this first one, when revealed, move all threat from the side scheme with the least threat to the side scheme with the most threat. If that scheme's force response ability is not triggered, this way this card gains Surge. Okay, well, it's going to gain Surge because it won't trigger. So it'll surge into, but that's okay. It's a Corrupt Prison Guard. But I think I can still win with toe-to-toe next time because I'm going to have to use toe-to-toe to win if I'm going to win next time. And then the next encounter card is the active villain heals 3. Oh, that's okay. That's going to bring it up to 6. And that's not good because that's too much damage. And give him a tough status card. So I'm going to have to change my way of thinking on my next turn. I won't be able to win, I don't think. And then Lightning Blast. Thunderball attacks you. If this attack is undefended, place 3 threat on Thunderball's side scheme. Oh, I'm on alter ego. Place 3 threat on the side scheme with the most threat, so it's going to bring it up to 6. And we are back to Bruce Banner. Okay, this is getting hairy. A lot more hairy than it should be. I should have won this game, but I haven't yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a card with Bruce Banner. It's going to be To the Rescue. Well, that's good. It can at least help me on the scheme over here. And I'm going to discard, I guess, a toe-to-toe. And since I really can't attack this turn, I'm just going to go ahead and heal back up to 13 just to have plenty of hit points, because I still think I'm going to win, even though it's taking forever because the stupid prison guard keeps coming in and prolonging the game because I can't hit Thunderball. And before I flip, I'm going to put in Avengers Mansion, Helicarrier, reducing it by 1, and then Energy for 2, 3, and Toe-to-Toe for 4. Just to give me some options next time, I'm going to go ahead and use it to draw a card. All right, so we're at suborbital leap. And then I'm going to have Sentry attack for 3 to get rid of this dumb prison guard that keeps coming into the game with his 3 attacks, so he's down to 3. I'm going to flip to Hulk. Unfortunately, I'm still stunned. I got to figure out a way to get rid of that and deal with the tough. But I will. I've got 13 hit points. I may just let Thunderball hit Hulk for the full damage so that like Sentry can knock it off. I don't know. But before I do anything, I'll lose if I don't thwart. So To the Rescue is going to play, and it does come to the rescue. I'm going to use Suborbital Leap and Boundless Rage to pay for that. So that's going to drop the scheme from 4 back down to 2. So I'm glad I had that. And I'm going to ready Hulk and draw up to 4. Okay, start of the main phase. It goes back from 2 back up to 4. 1 threat on the scheme, so it's up to 7 now. And Thunderball is going to attack. I'm just going to have Hulk take this for 2, 3, 4. So that's going to drop him from 13 back down to 9. All right, and then of course his force response is after Thunderball attacks, deal 1 damage to each character. So Hulk goes to 8. And Sentry goes down to 2. And the encounter card will be Get Wrecked. And Hero, the villain whose side scheme has the least threat, attacks you. So that's going to be Thunderball again. I think I can survive it no matter what it is. I'll just have Hulk take it again. So it's going to be a base of 2. Deal 1 damage to the defending character. There is no defending character, so that's actually going to be Hulk. So a base of 2, dropping Hulk down to 6. And then the boost, deal 1 damage to defending character, dropping Hulk down to 5. And then the forced response after Thunderball attacks, deal 1 damage to each character you control, so Hulk goes down to 4. Sentry goes down to 1. And man, I'm taking a beating, but it is back to Hulk. All right, I got to deal 6 damage, knock off a tough, and a stun. Now let's see what I can do. The first thing, I'm going to have Avengers Mansion, let him draw a card, drop kick. And then I'm going to use Martial, I'm going to play Crushing Blow, use Martial Prowess to get the physical resource I need to deal damage to an enemy equal to my attack, but that's just going to remove the stun from Hulk. Sentry's going to attack for 3. To remove the tough off of Thunderball, and Sentry's gone. And so now we have, I'm going to put Drop Kick in. Helicarrier is going to reduce it by 1 before I put it in, so that's 1. To the Rescue is 2. Immovable Object is 3. I don't need to stun him or anything because it doesn't matter. It's going to do 4 damage, drop him from 6 to 2. And Hulk is still upright, so he can attack for 3. And that will defeat Thunderball on basically the last turn of the game. I mean, I did have a To the Rescue I could have thwarted with, but I didn't want to go much longer. And that is the game. Well, that's the Hulk starter pack. And he's in Aggression. Now, that game went a lot longer than it should have. The prison guard kept coming into play and causing me trouble because I couldn't attack Thunderball there in those last few turns until I got him out of the way, and I just didn't have the damage. And Hulk was stunned, but I was finally able to figure out a way to get it done there on that last turn with the Crushing Blow removing the stun, Sentry removing the tough, and then I drop kicked and punched him. That seems pretty thematic for a way Hulk can end a game. And so that is Hulk starter pack with aggression against the Wrecking Crew on Expert. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you did, please consider to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I probably will do one more playthrough with Hulk against a villain, and I'm probably going to use him in Justice because I like that aspect. I want to show that aspect off with him. And hit the notification bell so you know when that game comes out. And until my next video, I'll save you a seat at the table.